Ever wondered why character design in Blender holds such a pivotal role in the world of animation and game development? Well, ponder no more. Character design is the beating heart of any narrative, be it in a blockbuster movie or an immersive video game. In Blender, designing characters that are unique and compelling can make or break your project. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about bringing your characters to life, giving them personalities that resonate with audiences, and making them integral parts of your storytelling journey. A well-designed character in Blender can enhance the visual appeal of your project, making it more enticing and engaging. But it's not just about looks. The character's design also contributes to the overall user experience, affecting how players interact with the game or how viewers perceive the story. Knowing how to design characters in Blender is an essential skill for any aspiring animator or game developer. Before we dive into the process, ensure you have the latest version of Blender installed on your system. With Blender in place, let's set the stage for a captivating character design journey. When you launch Blender for the first time, you might find the interface a bit intimidating, but worry not, it's all about getting familiar with the right tools. To the left, you'll find the toolbar, which houses the primary tools you'll be using to design your character. These include the selection, move, rotate, and scale tools. Across the top, you'll find the menu bar, from where you can access various features like rendering, animation, and scripting. Remember, practice is key when it comes to mastering the Blender interface. Don't hesitate to experiment and explore different menus and options. Now that you're equipped with the basics, it's time to begin our character design journey. Scene script. Character design always starts with an idea. It's time to bring your imagination to the paper. Conceptualization is the first step in creating a character, and it's all about originality and creativity. This is where your unique vision comes to life. It's about letting your mind wander, exploring different ideas and concepts, and then refining and shaping those into a character that is truly your own. Whether it's a heroic knight, a cunning thief, or a lovable alien, your character should be a reflection of your creative spirit. Next, we transition into the sketching process. This is where your concept begins to take on a physical form. You'll start by outlining the character's basic shape and proportions. This is crucial as it forms the foundation upon which the rest of your design will be built. When sketching, start with simple, broad strokes to outline the general shape of your character. Don't worry about the details just yet. Focus on getting the proportions right. Take your time here, because the proportions can make or break your design. Once you've got their basic shape and proportions down, you can start adding in the character's features. This includes everything from their eyes and nose to their hair and clothing. Remember, these features should reflect the personality and backstory you've conceptualized for your character. Now, you might be tempted to rush through this step, but don't. Take your time to really flesh out these features, because they're what will give your character its personality and depth. And remember, sketching doesn't have to be perfect. It's a process of exploration and refinement. Don't be afraid to make changes, erase, redraw, and experiment until you're satisfied with your design. With your sketch ready, we're prepared to take our design into the digital world. It's time to breathe life into our sketch by creating a 3D model in Blender. This is where our concept starts to take a tangible form, where we transform our two-dimensional sketch into a three-dimensional masterpiece. So, how do we do this? Well, first things first, we start with mesh modeling. This is the process of creating a complex 3D model by manipulating and combining simpler shapes, referred to as meshes. Imagine it like working with digital clay, pushing and pulling to form the basic structure of our character. Once the base mesh is complete, we move on to sculpting. Sculpting is a technique that allows us to add intricate details to our model. It's like the fine brushstrokes on a canvas that bring our character to life. We use various sculpting tools in Blender to carve out the finer features, making our character as realistic or as stylized as we want it to be. After we're happy with the details, we then proceed to retopology. This process involves creating a new optimized version of the mesh, which ensures our model is as efficient and clean as possible. It's like ironing out the wrinkles on a shirt, making everything smooth and neat. Now, as we model, it's crucial to constantly check and ensure the proportions of our character are correct. We need to make sure the size of the head is in harmony with the body, the distance between the eyes is just right, and so on. This can be a bit of a delicate dance, but it's what makes our character feel real and believable. Adding details and refining the model is an ongoing process. It's like polishing a diamond. The more you polish, the more it shines. We add things like hair, clothes, and accessories, and refine the model until we're satisfied with every little detail. We've successfully modeled our character, but it's not ready for the spotlight just yet. The journey is not over, as we still have a few more steps to take before our character is ready to take center stage. But for now, take a moment to appreciate the progress you've made. This is your creation, your masterpiece in the making. With our 3D model in place, it's time to add color, texture, and movement. This is where the magic really happens. Let's begin with texturing, a process that gives our character a more realistic and visually appealing look. Think of texturing like painting a canvas. You're not just filling in the lines with color, but you're also adding depth, shading, and texture. In Blender, we use a process called UV mapping, which is like wrapping a 2D image around a 3D object. It's like wrapping a gift, except your gift is a 3D model and your wrapping paper is a 2D image. Once you've chosen your textures, you can apply them to the model, adjusting the scale, rotation, and placement until you're satisfied. This is a meticulous process, and it can take some time to get it just right. But the result is a character that looks and feels real, with skin that has texture, clothing that has fabric, and eyes that have depth. Now, let's move on to rigging. This is the process of adding a skeletal structure to our character to enable movement. Imagine trying to make a puppet move without any strings. That's what a 3D model is like without rigging. In Blender, we add a series of bones that define how our character can move. These bones are then connected to the mesh of our model, allowing us to pose and animate our character. The process can be complex, especially for characters with a lot of detail. But the result is a character that can move, gesture, and express emotion. It's important to remember that both texturing and rigging require patience and practice. But the end result is worth the effort. With these final touches, our character is ready to take center stage. Whether it's for a video game, an animated movie, or a virtual reality experience, your character is now ready to bring your story to life.